Idea Factor and Compile Heart are a very common talking subject on this channel, and today is not going to change that. However, while the dynamic duo are mostly known for their lighthearted video game parody RPG series Hyperdimension Neptunia, every now and then they'll dip their toes into other genres. Story genres, they still only make RPGs. The most common one being horror! Such is the case with today's subject, Death End Request 2, a game I initially thought would be an interesting step into a genre I don't usually visit, and ended up speaking to my soul about how different people see religion, and how exactly it can be used. Now I know this is a really dark and tone-setting beginning for this video, but we're still covering an IFX Compa game here. As Mai, Roddy, and Liliana, it's your goal to uncover the hidden secrets of the remote town of Leshawara, and the best way to do that is by exploring the town after midnight, where you're typically forbidden from doing so by the headmistress, Midra. The town shifts from a bright rural town into a grim dark hellscape of horrific monsters all over prowling to feast on anything they can. Unlike Neptunia, where you can enter dungeons via a sprawling world map, all of the segments of this town are connected, and after traveling to one of the main sectors, you'll be able to warp back there for quick and easy backtracking. In these overworlds, while there are enemies to engage with, items to collect, and shadow matters that pop up and give you a game over if you run into one, there are also various points which require one of the girls' pluggy skills. Mai can hack into green PCs using cameras in these town districts to uncover hidden secrets like fake walls or key items. Roddy can use her mosquito jump to fly to ledges you can't normally reach for items or shortcuts. Liliana has a Destructo Bat, which she can use to launch balls to break seemingly indestructible patches in the overworld. And yes, they're called patches. Everything in this world is constructed by programming. Thankfully, no matter who you have set as leader in your party, the correct adept will be swapped out to perform the task, causing no need to be constantly in the menu switching who's leading the team. Once you get into a battle with a monster, either by walking into it, striking first, or getting hit, you'll enter a battle where your main method of attacking will be selecting skills in a succession of 3 before aiming and launching your attacks. Depending on if you select the proper actions in order, you can initiate a knockback to send enemies flying, either into your party members to keep the smackdown going, or into the field bugs in the arena. Think of them like little glitches. These field bugs can mostly benefit your party if you walk over them, giving you minor stat bonuses, but also giving you corruption. If you hit 80% corruption, your character will enter a glitch mode, where an incredibly strong attack becomes available before reverting back to normal with a 0% corruption. Knocking back enemies over the field bugs will give the character the bonuses without increasing the overall corruption. Honestly, I love this gameplay loop. It's just strategic enough to where I'm not just on autopilot every time I enter a fight, but the spectacle of launching these hell spawns into each other just really hits that dopamine level in my little Pcuspy brain. Oh, fuck yeah! Look at that combo! Oh hey, check that out! By performing different chains of attacks that engages a flash drive, where that character will learn and then perform a new move to keep things from getting stale. You keep hearing all these specific keywords that I've been using as I've been going on here. Remember what I said, everything in this world is programming. In fact, let's dig a bit deeper into that. Each of our main 3 adepts would definitely say shit's fucked if they were allowed to curse like that. And going by how their last names all have some reference to toys, dolls, fucking Pinocchio, their overall story involves going against the status quo of this rustic rural town of Leshawara and the roles set up for them. Broody and withdrawn, Mai Toyama is sent to Wordsworth to give her some semblance of normalcy after her self-defense killing of her abusive father, while she's also looking for the one family member she cares about, her little sister Sanae, whose messages ran out while she was at Wordsworth, even though the staff say they have no record of her. Bright, bubbly, and very, very touch-starved, Roddy Dollheart is Mai's roommate. Yes, indeed.
They were roommates.
While initially struggling with feeling ignored and slightly neglected by her mother, Midra, over the course of the game, due to the secrets her mother hides, as well as the, frankly, inappropriate behavior she forces upon Roddy, the young girl feels she can no longer trust her mother and feels her protection is overreaching, resulting in her caring for the family that she builds with Mai and Liliana. Kind, eloquent, and I'm bawling, guys, that she's in a story this sad. Liliana Pinata is inspired to become an exorcist after her father's death is caused by a demonic possession, causing her mother to abuse Liliana to cope. She wishes to be an exorcist as she believes her mother to be possessed as well, and even though her mother has harmed her greatly, the 10-year-old kid can't help but love her mummy, even if her egg donor doesn't deserve that love. These three girls have had it incredibly rough and find companionship and safety in one another, and are the only ones able to see the most dangerous of monsters at midnight, called Shadow Matter. And while Midra is cagey and her head-made Shizu is basically her subservient puppet,
Yes.
that doesn't mean every adult intends on failing these girls. Sheena, the female protagonist from the first game, is here searching for clues about Arata, male protagonist of the first game, who suddenly disappeared after looking to investigate Leshawara as a whole. And after Mai is accepted as the new programmer of the world's key, along with Iris, inside of Arata's laptop, Sheena works alongside her three junior adepts to help them uncover the truth. We have our heroines, our antagonists, so let's figure out what the fuck is going on with this setting. There's a lot of shit that doesn't add up in Leshawara, and that's completely by design. On the inside, the town is incredibly rustic, not a single piece of modern technology in sight during the day. Hell, Roddy, who's lived in this town all her life, doesn't know what a smartphone is or what computers are. She thinks they're both magic. This game takes place in early 2019 in Romania, by the way. Monsters roam the midnight, and for people out at night stocked with severe negative emotions, they can get to the point where it causes fits of insanity, and as such, get cursed and become Shadow Matter bosses that we have to kill, if not for our own safety, then to put them out of their misery. And while there are points where after protecting other girls from Shadow Matters in the evening, they're said to have been adopted, yet we never see or hear from them again. Whenever we reach the boundaries of the town, when we try to leave, there's always some sort of augmented reality wall preventing anyone from leaving. Not to mention, on the outside, the town's been abandoned after a massive gas leak. And given Arata's abilities as a programmer alongside knowledge of other planes of reality thanks to his experiences in the first game, he decides to go check out the town, only to never return. And that's not even covering the religion of this little nutsack of a town. Elstrain is the religion followed and practiced by everyone in the town, to the point where the headmistress Midra pushes for the initiation of newcomers to Wordsworth into it. And while on the surface it seems nice, giving prayer to an all-knowing, all-loving deity, that sounds pretty good. Hell, if Roddy and Chitsuba are anything to go by, at least Elstrain's not homophobic. Happy Pride Month, gays and days! But we never really learn much about Elstrain beyond the initial selling point. We don't even know the name of the deity, but one of the last messages Mai received from Sanae before she went missing warns her that Barbas is watching. Don't believe all that you see, sister. Barbas is coming. Considering this eerie email before she suddenly vanishes, as well as hooded followers of Elstrain as pointed out by local Roddy entering the town from the AR blocking, we're starting to drift from religion into straight up cult territory with Midra at the center. She makes religious practice a requirement to living in the orphanage, forcing them to attend the church for 3 days, dominates her staff to keep them in line, and in her total control as we see successfully with Shizu and unsuccessfully with Sheena, is willing to do whatever it takes to remain in control of the situation, whether it be smacking a stressed, frustrated Mai who's begging for answers about her missing sister, preying on her charges by using Victoria's attraction to her, straining her relationship with Chitsuba, which leads to the two girlfriends' deaths as Chitsuba is consumed in her abandonment issues, having watched Midra with Victoria, drowning her girlfriend, fully succumbing to her madness as the succubus Shadow Matter. And if all else fails and outsiders learn too much, she's more than willing to silence you to make sure you don't squeal. You see, these girls are not people to her. None of them are. They are playthings for Midra's purposes. Leshawara is her playground and toy box, with every single girl she takes into Wordsworth being toys meant to satisfy her goals. If I'm sounding angrier as I'm recording this, again, not a bad thing. Midra's a really good villain, The game's doing its job of making a detestable antagonist who takes advantage of these girls and is a person of the faith. Someone these lost, traumatized girls should be able to count on for guidance and safety. None of her deplorable actions are fetishized, or for the most part even visible, and that arguably makes it more effective, because all we have is a black screen, eerie music, and the text we read describing it, forcing our mind to paint the picture of the horrific action she's doing, and just... Fuck, guys, this game's speaking a little too hard to me. I have a lot of religious experiences I haven't fully worked through in therapy. You will never get me to willingly enter a church ever again. So don't even fucking try it, Reverend! Though this isn't to say everyone in the cast has the exact same experience with religion. In the case of Roddy, it's all she knows, and this horrifying adventure is giving her a question of faith in whether she can believe in the institutions around her. For Mai, due to her previous abusive relationships, she felt closed off and skeptical to the idea of a higher being who loves everyone, merely playing along to not raise alarm in any of her fellow dorm mates and make herself even more of a pariah. And finally, even though Mai and myself found it strange that Liliana had to pray for days in the church for initiation into El Strain, she exits the experience not beaten down and indoctrinated by the oppressive air of the hidden darkness of the path, but she uses it to inspire her own path, continue to treat her friends and others with kindness, in spite of all the hardships and trauma she's been put through. Honestly, just... thank fucking God these three have each other. This found family of two roomies slow burning into a relationship while caring for a little sister is the emotional bright star of the game. Aside from assistance from Sheena in the form of intel and her character discs, which contain the avatars of the cast from the first game, these three only have each other. Roddy can't even trust her mother because the big cult hiding everything and causing all the chaos the girls run into, it's all being orchestrated by her. In this controlled group run by Midra, Shizu, and her cavalcade of cultists, every single girl at this dormitory has the role of cattle. Lambs to a slaughter that Midra's running for her daughter, who would never want any of this. And if you aren't careful and run into some of these death ends, our adepts will join them. What's the truth behind this town? Can Mai, Roddy, and Liliana escape this caged town with their lives and souls intact? Or will Midra and her Elstring conspiracy swallow them whole? I'm not going to go over the major reveals because I'm telling you now, play the game. I don't give a piss that the Switch version's choppy frame rate wise, or that the gameplay can get repetitive at points. Death End Request 2 is one of my favorite games that I've experienced in 2025. This game's mystery and soul are the backbone of this game. Not to mention my own personal backgrounds with organized religion have me relating heavily with this found family of girlfriends and their adopted little sister, the Exorcist, so I want to be able to get these characters out of this fucking town and into some kind of happy ending. Because, yes, you, the player, are an active participant in this world. So what say you guys? Will you accept the role you're given as the supposed god of death? Or are you going to find the truth and seek out to save as many lives as you can? I mean, shit, you know my answer.